This brings me to a true story from someone that wrote me recently. And before I read this story to you, I have to ask you a question. How many of you have heard me use the illustration of the guy that took the job at the zoo and dressed up in the gorilla suit? Raise up your hand. Okay, so most of you know what I'm talking about, but it's an illustration I've used many times, especially at crusades. And the point of it is, people pretend to be something they aren't, and it's a guy who goes to a zoo to get a job and all the positions are filled. But the gorilla just died, so they ask him if he'd put on a gorilla suit and pretend to be the gorilla till the real one arrives. The guy does it, and he's enjoying it, and the crowds are getting bigger, and he gets a little carried away one day and swings a little too far and lands in the middle of the lion's cage, or lion's den, I should say. And then he realizes he's going to be killed, but he doesn't want to cry out and admit that he's a guy in a gorilla suit. And as the lion is approaching, he can't contain himself any longer, and he yells out, "Help!" And the lion says, "Shut up, stupid, or you'll get us both fired." Okay, so that's the illustration. All right, now, here's a true story. Greg, we went to Harvest up until we moved out of the city in 2005. Once in a while, we'd let our 6-year-old daughter, Kelsey, sit with us in overflow or out at the cafe. The following story is why we shouldn't. In our new neighborhood, we were all outside talking, meeting our new neighbors. Parents and kids were just hanging out and having a great time. And my daughter came over to me and said she wanted to tell her new friends about Daniel in the lion's den. I thought, what a great idea. Right off the bat, they'll know we're all Christians, even our little girl. I moved in closer to hear her tell the story. Now, this is Kelsey's version of Daniel in the lion's den, age 6. Well, it all started one day at the zoo. They didn't have enough money to buy a new monkey suit, so they hired this guy, Daniel, to put on a monkey outfit. I love the way she's merging the two stories now. So Daniel was in the monkey den, and he really loved it, and he was swinging around, and the people loved him. He got so excited, he swung right over into the lion's den. Daniel was so scared, he started praying to God for help. Back to the Daniel story again. And then a lion started moving closer, and he was really scared. Daniel asked the lion to please not eat him, and the lion moved in closer, lifted his mask, and said, "Be quiet, or you'll get us both fired." Funny. It's okay when a 6-year-old gets things confused. But what's sad is when someone who has been a Christian for a while is illiterate when it comes to the things of the Bible. And that is probably one of the biggest problems we're seeing in the church today, is a complete ignorance of what the Bible actually teaches. George Barna, who conducts a lot of polls, wrote an article recently pointing out that the Christian body in America is immersed in a crisis of biblical illiteracy. He says, how else can you describe matters when most church-going adults today reject the accuracy of the Bible? They reject the existence of Satan. They claim that Jesus sinned. They see no need to evangelize, and they believe that good works are one of the keys to persuading God to forgive them of their sins. Barna went on to point out that the most widely known verse among adult and teen believers is, are you ready? God helps those who help themselves. Yeah, that's one of my favorite verses. Not in the Bible, because you won't find that in the scripture. It might be in Jeff's pink Bible, but I don't think it'll be in anybody else's. This study revealed that less than 1 out of every 10 believers possess a biblical worldview as the basis for his or her decision-making and behavior. Yeah, that's a problem.